For as long as most of us can remember, our entire digital lives have been stuck inside these flat rectangles. But what happens when our technology finally breaks free from the screen? Today, we're going to dive into the future of 3D interfaces, and we're going to do it through the eyes of a real pioneer in the field, designer Skoti Brendel. Really think about it for a second. Every single app you use, every website you visit, it's all fundamentally a flat 2D experience, right? We are constantly poking and swiping at a world that is completely trapped by the edges of a screen. And that's the big question that's driving this huge shift in design. What if it didn't have to be this way? What if our digital interactions could feel as natural, as intuitive, as just, interacting with the real world? And that brings us to this great metaphor from Skoti Brendel. He calls the screen that separates us from all our data the glass pane. And he basically built his entire company around one single mission: to shatter it. Okay, so what does breaking the glass pane actually mean? Well, the core problem with our flat screens is that they really hold back natural human interaction. We're forced to do these weirdly specific things like click, tap, and scroll, which, let's be honest, are not natural ways for us to engage with anything. Well, this whole idea, this solution, it has a name. It's called spatial computing. And this isn't just about making things look 3D. No. This is a complete and total rethinking of how we interact with technology, using the actual space all around us as the new canvas. And this is where things get really interesting. See, moving from 2D to 3D design requires a completely different way of thinking. It is not as simple as just taking a flat button and, making it a cube. Just look at the difference here. It's a total shift in focus. Traditional 2D design, it's all about arranging things on a flat, static page. But 3D interface design, it's much more like being a choreographer. It's about designing how a user physically moves through a space and how the interface itself behaves and reacts to you. And that is the absolute key takeaway here. In spatial computing, depth isn't just some visual trick to make things look cool. It becomes a functional, crucial part of the design. It's how you show what's important, create hierarchy, and literally guide a person's next move. Okay, so if this is all so revolutionary, why aren't we all walking around in some holographic future right now? Well, it turns out the biggest roadblock, it isn't the technology, it's us. This quote from Brendel really says it all. His team spends most of its time not actually building these futuristic interfaces, but teaching their clients a whole new way of thinking. They have to get them to understand the why before they can even get to the what. And that's really the heart of the problem, isn't it? We have all been using flat menus and buttons for so long that moving to an interface that exists in physical space just feels weird. You have to prove, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that interacting with a machine in 3D is genuinely better and more efficient, and not just some cool gimmick. This can all sound a little abstract, so let's look at a real-world example. Because once you see this stuff in action, it all just clicks. This isn't science fiction anymore. This is actually happening. So Brendel's team was working with this robotics company, right? And they had this classic problem. Their engineers were trying to control these massive, super complex machines using these ridiculously cluttered dashboards on a screen. The solution? It was straight out of Iron Man. Instead of looking away at a monitor, they used an augmented reality system to project the controls right onto the robot itself. An engineer could literally just point it apart, and virtual sliders would appear right there in space for them to use. And the result was just wow. It was so natural, so intuitive, that training time was slashed from weeks down to just a matter of hours. That is the power of this kind of design. All right, so if that's what's possible today, where does all this go tomorrow? The vision for the future is, it's even more integrated and a whole lot smarter. The next big frontier is something called contextual interfaces. This is all about creating interfaces that don't just wait for you to do something, they actually anticipate what you need before you even know you need it. So what's on the roadmap? Well, first up, you've got these contextual interfaces, where buttons just appear exactly where your hand reaches, but only when you actually need them. Then we're looking at true holographic interactions, moving beyond just headsets. And the ultimate goal, the final frontier, interfaces that are linked directly to our neural signals. You see what's happening here? It's a complete flip. We're moving from a world where we have to constantly learn and adapt to our technology to one where our technology adapts to us instantly and seamlessly, in real time. So if you're excited by all this, if this is a space you want to get into, Brendel has some really great advice. He says the most important skill isn't mastering some piece of software, it's understanding people, human behavior, psychology, how we move. The absolute best digital interaction should feel as natural and as thoughtless as opening a door. And that really leaves us with this one big question to think about. As we finally break through that glass pane and our digital and our physical worlds start to merge, how do we make sure we're designing technology that doesn't just surround us, but that actually understands us and feels, well, human?